There are some who show their love for Cleveland by supporting the arts, rooting for the home team, or enjoying concerts and nightlife. Then there's Mike Polk Jr. He shows his love by skewering all that's Cleveland in his hilarious, hastily made Cleveland tourism videos on the internet, and now in his admittedly poorly researched but very funny book, Damn Right I'm From Cleveland, your guide to making it in America's 47th largest city. Today, Mike's here to humor us about our hometown. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's make it clear first. You love Cleveland, even though you take some shots.
I do very much love this town. I pick on it like someone picks on their younger brother, you know, where I'm allowed to pick on that town, but if you talk about my younger brother, then we're going to have issues. You understand?
Right. So let's start with an obvious target that you've played on, and that's our sports teams. And you know personally, because I understand that despite it all, you're a Cleveland Browns season ticket holder.
Don't say that too loud. Yes, I am. I have been for quite some time. My father's had his tickets since the 80s. And I started buying them off of him when he just totally gave up. And they got us on that whole PSL thing where you have to keep buying them and whatnot. So yeah, I've been toughing it out for quite some time, and I have a lot to say about them, and I do.
And I understand you actually had a very interesting rant at the Browns Stadium.
I did. It was after a particularly grievous away loss to Houston, and I went out there and I screamed at the stadium with my camera set up against on a tripod up against my car, and it went viral and got over 1 million views, which means there are a lot of people who feel similarly.
Give us a little sample of what you said.
Oh, somewhere along the lines of, it's actually impossible to be this consistently bad as opposed to being accidentally occasionally good. Only much louder and with a little bit of profanity.
All right, but we can't do that, obviously.
All right, we'll do it afterwards.
All right. So even though you've talked a lot about Cleveland today, you also have looked back at the way our city was founded. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is an interesting story. I mean, Moses Cleveland, as we all know, is the founder of Cleveland, and he actually spelled his name with an extra A in there. Oh, there he is. Isn't he a grim-looking guy? He actually started the trend of Clevelanders looking grim and unattractive. He was the first one. And he came to Cleveland, and and we assumed that he just stopped here because he got tired of rowing. And he said, "This'll do." He was also the first one to remark, "What does that smell?" in Cleveland, and we still haven't figured that out. But he, as soon as he founded the city, they dropped the A in his name accidentally, which was also pretty foreboding as far as what our educational system would end up like eventually. No offense, everyone. And then he immediately left and went back and never returned to Cleveland. Went to New England. So even our first guy who founded the city didn't stick around, which is kind of sad.
But you stick around.
I do stick around.
All
yes,
right.
I do. You can't lose me.
And
no one wants me anywhere else, frankly. So
you talk about other don't miss topics in your book, by the way. Damn Right I'm From Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Things like Cleveland dating on the cheap and Edgewater beach bingo.
Right. Those are actually those go together because I go to take a nice lady to Edgewater Beach because I treat my women like queens. We split a nice box of wine, really make a day of it. And you go down there and you witness all the sights and smells that Edgewater Beach has to offer, and it's absolutely free. The zoo is another place that you can go for free on Mondays to a date if you feel like it and you want to deal with 1 million school kids, which who does, who are much worse than the animals if you've ever been around them. But yeah, there's lots of options in here.
Proper protocol for riding the RTA?
Yes. That's mostly don't make eye contact. And if somebody stands up and gives a ranting speech about how the world is coming to an end and they're crazy and have tinfoil on their head, you should applaud when they're done because that just shows respect.
And lots of talk about drinking.
Yes, that's a favorite subject of mine and actually what fueled this book, as a matter of fact. And Cleveland, as we know, we are a big drinking town, and who wouldn't be? Again, going back to the sports teams, you got to do with what you got to do to deal with what we got.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your being here
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
So when you read Mike Polk's book, Damn Right I'm From Cleveland, you may wince, you may shake your head, but mostly you're going to laugh, and then you're going to laugh some more. My thanks to Mike for sharing his hard-hitting and humorous take on our favorite hometown.
To order the book, call Gray & Company Publishing at 1-800-708-2819 or click to www.grayco.com. Next, know your rights.